seafood. It's one of the towering pillars of our Australian culinary reputation. A reputation that's recognised throughout the world for its sensational taste and sizzling innovations. But there's more to great seafood than just what you see on your plate. And you're about to dive deep into the full story of how it gets there. I'm Andrew Eddinghausen. I've spent the past 2 decades fishing for fun on screen, yours and mine. Now I'm getting serious, teaming up with some of Australia's toughest professional fishing crews and introducing them to some of the country's most creative chefs. Together we'll sail Australian waters from north to south to show you the whole amazing journey from ocean depths to the heights of culinary delight in each delicious adventure of seafood escape. Of all the seafood varieties on the Australian market, one of the greatest staples for almost 100 years has been flake. It's the delicious boneless white flesh of the gummy shark, a small species that's been commercially fished since the 1920s from ports like Wynyard in northwest Tassie. Well, it's a late night, 10 p.m. We've just boarded the Charisma. We're heading down the west coast of Tasmania to chase some gummy sharks. So at 3 a.m, we're actually going to be dropping the nets, and at 9 a.m, we're going to be pulling them back out. And I brought up a couple of great chefs from Frank Restaurant down in Hobart. And we've got Scott, who's part owner and also head chef, and we've also got Tom along, who's the sous chef down there. They're going to be experiencing all this with me. It's completely new to them. They want to find out how they catch the gummy shark and how it ends up on their tables down at their restaurant. And it's a wild night we're going out into.
That's 30 plus.
That's 30 knots, not just kilometres per hour, and wind of that strength is what the sailors both at Scale calls a 4-7 gale. A nice night to go out fishing.
Rocks will go in between them and the island.
For a professional Tassie fisherman like Pete Smith, this is all just a normal night's work. We've started laying the Charisma's gill net, which is the strictly controlled standard for the gummy shark fishery. A gill net sits stationary on the sea floor, causing minimum disruption and damage to the underwater environment, while its mesh size allows smaller fish to swim through and bigger ones to bounce off and swim around. So the catch is mostly limited to the target size shark, plus a small amount of desirable bycatch. Scott, I saw you out last night. He was out there fishing off the beach. He was using this beautiful star sinker. It was about yay big. But have a look at these ones here. These are the real deal. And the scale of the gear is amazing. They work together as the time for dropping another weight in. The skipper at the moment, which is Jai up at the wheelhouse, he'll slow the boat up, and then it'll allow Pete just to drop this one, latch it onto the line, and here we go with one of the sinkers. He's just latched it on, gives a yell, the plonk. Everyone gets wet, and that same system will continue on. But there's also other areas where it's just line, and what it's doing is giving the boys a break. If they do get onto a good haul of fish, they're able to bring that catch in nice and slow so they can actually get the fish out of the net. How long does it take to put all this out?
About 45 minutes.
45 minutes she runs out for. Wow. That's 45 minutes of hard yakka and high concentration in a constant test of skill. I guess at times you can have a bit more where the boat's lunging all the time. Does that really affect the way the net goes in the water?
It does, yeah. Yeah, it makes it harder because if you get slack spots in the net, you can have tangles, and if you shoot the net too slack, all the fish will be too tangled up in the net. It makes it harder to get them out.
Do you ever get any hiccups here at all?
Yeah.
You do?
Sometimes on the bottom end of the gear you might get a tangle.
Right.
Because actually as you reduce the size of the reel, the floats might get caught on the float.
Yeah, how much net we're talking?
About 6K.
6K, wow. And the chosen spot, I mean, is it because of conditions?
Yeah, conditions, the tide, and 50% luck and 50% good management.
There's a lot of things you can do to make the job easier, and that's a bit of patience and a lot of luck.
In this type of area down through here, the residential gummy sharks, they like mainly squid and octopus, and hoping we might get a few snapper. Yeah, we'll find out in a few hours, no doubt.
And we're being watched the whole time by the Australian Fisheries Management Authority camera. Right now, they're videoing you. How does that all happen?
Well, that's just video and it's just going downloaded onto a hard drive.
Right.
And probably every 6 weeks, we'll take the hard drive out of the computer, send it off, plug another one in, and away we go again. The whole idea is that what we're writing down in our logbooks is what they're seeing as well.
And do you switch this on, or does it happen automatically?
It happens automatically. As soon as the net reel turns...
So when as soon as the net starts to get put in, it all switches on, so the surveillance is all happening.
It starts recording straight away.
It's like having a fisheries officer on the boat all the time, checking and looking over all your work.
Yeah.
With another kilometre still on the drum, we're about 5 kilometres into the drop net, and I shudder to think how many tonnes of water that's been coming over the bow. All I can do is grit my teeth and try to share Jai's confidence in the weather ceiling of his wheelhouse. Well, mate, down to the last, the last kilometre of line, is it?
Yeah, a bit less.
A bit less than that. And then what's the process after that? The net's completely gone off the boat.
Yeah, and we'll just run another buoy line off with a flag on it.
Yep.
And then we'll steam back up this other end to the shelter and drop the anchor.
And if our chefs Scott and Tom think they've had a wild night at sea so far, it's nothing compared to what's ahead of them when we come back out here to pluck the marker buoy out of these waves and start hauling in a net full of gummy sharks. Coming up next. On the northwest coast of Tasmania, morning breaks calm and quiet behind the islands which sheltered us for a few hours' sleep. But this is big wind territory, where the roaring 40s blow constantly strong off the Southern Ocean and funnel even harder into Bass Strait. While guest chefs Scott and Tom enjoy the very fresh air on deck, pro fishermen Pete and Jai are in the wheelhouse, sharpening their blades for the hard and heavy work to come. The gill net fishing boat Charisma is on course for the open water where the crew left the net marker buoys being blown about last night. And it's another shift of wet and windy work coming up. Their haul today will form part of the 1,774 tonne. That's the strict limit declared by the Australian Fisheries Management Authority for gummy shark fishery this season. That's 1,700 tonne to be shared by boats like this, fishing from Albany in Western Australia, all along the coastline across South Australia to Tasmania and Victoria. With AFMA's cameras monitoring the action as the net brings up the first of this morning's catch of gummy sharks. You can rest easy in the knowledge that your supply of flake is assured as sustainable now as into the future. The wide mesh of the net means there are no small bycatch fish to be sorted, and that suits Jai and Pete just fine because it makes their work on deck so much more efficient. They can concentrate on slipping each shark out of the net individually and no harm done to that delicious flake flesh. The cleaning table is the next step in a very swift process. As you can see, it's all about speed with these guys. They bring the net in, the sharks come in, then it goes to Pete and he's dispatching them really quickly and cleaning them, gutting them, so they can be bled out in this bath down here so they've got quite cool water. That's exactly where they're going, straight into the salt water as soon as they come on board. The rain comes down. Tell you what, these guys have to battle the elements continuously. So another gummy shark comes on board. You've got the wind and the rain, and this is summer. You can imagine going through winter. She'd be pretty tough going out here. These guys are working non-stop. Doesn't matter how big the swell is. It's going to be pretty nasty. Anyway, they're getting a good catch. It's unrelenting work that must go on, no matter how uncomfortable the conditions become. But for me, it's enlivened by the opportunity to learn more about these sharks and what they live on. There we go, this is what they've been eating. You can see squid, maybe some octopus. And even the cutting is regulated. So you've got to leave the fins on, is that part of the regulations?
Part of regulations, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. You can nearly see where the cut, you see where the groove is to the gill, and just straight down there. I normally flick him over. We've got him out, the spoon on the knife, see
Okay, so spoon at the other end, pretty clean.
And there we go.
and then back in here, and this will sort of
just wash him out a bit more.
Wash him out, bleed, the blood will keep coming out of the fish.
Yeah, we've got a little gummy here, so same thing again, same process, head, tail, and the least amount of cuts you can do, the better, all in a day's work, I suppose. So that's got that one. You don't want to break into the flesh.
Yep.
Yeah, so he's done.
Well, you're netting the fish. This is really where it's all at for the quality at the end of the day.
Well, that's exactly right, because as quick as we can get them cleaned up, we can get the gear back in the water fishing again.
It'll be a while yet before this net is back in the water fishing again. We're only coming up to about 3 kilometres in a 6 kilometre haul. And when we reach halfway, it'll be time for the 2 chefs and me to stop watching and start working. Well, the net's 6 k's long, and it looks like the 2 chefs and myself are going to look after the catch as it comes through on this second phase. So we've got about 3 k's of net still to bring in and also sort. So we've got the gummies, we've seen some snapper, but not too much bycatch, Pete. It's been pretty good, mate.
Yeah, it's been real good actually, and
lots of gummies.
Yeah, nice gummies, nice snapper, which we've been hoping for. And the aim is we don't want to be catching a lot of bycatch.
No worries. All right. Well, we're going to have a crack right here. This is obviously the cleaning table. And it's a little messy because there's been a few fish come through.
Yeah, there's been a bit of a...
It's been a good first half for you guys.
Yeah,
okay?
Yeah, it's...
now it's up to us to finish off the game. Don't fly away. It's shaping up to be a big second half coming up next. There's a freight train of gummy sharks coming up to the deck of gill net fishing boat Charisma in the chilly wind and lumpy seas off the northwest coast of Tasmania. Professional fishers Giant Pete are handing over the tools of the trade to the guest chefs Scott and Tom, and I'm there in the thick of it too. We've got 3 kilometres of gill net to clear to get this day's work done. So it's a good thing we've all got experience with sharp knives, although I must admit, the chefs have the edge on me when it comes to work time with a blade. So I kick off on a fish I'm familiar with.
That look okay?
Yep. I've never actually seen the proverbial one-arm paper hanger at work, but it's pretty sure that I'm beginning to know how he feels. And that goes for Chef Tom and his boss Scott as well, as we struggle to stay ahead of the sharks coming out of the net. There's more shark coming out of the net at the moment. There's also been some bycatch, and we've had some beautiful snapper. Some pink snapper up around the 2, even 3 kilo mark, so nice big fish, and a whole mixed bag. Pretty frantic conditions on the boat. Still blustery, still wet, still cold, but we're getting a few sharks. Time for me to get back to the cleaning table. While the fishing pros run the machinery, the kitchen pros sharpen up their own professional skills in this ruggedly unfamiliar environment.
It's really nice to be able to go through and learn how they do it properly.
All right, in the drink. Oh, it's a good one.
I'm starting to get full.
Big one. The knives are so sharp, they'll cut through just about anything, but you've got to know the right procedure and the right way to do it.
You need to put it in the right place.
Then, after I've lost count of how many sharks and snapper have come across the table and down into the well, just when it feels like we've got the rhythm and pace of the work just right, we come to the end of the line. Literally. That's the end of 6 kilometres of net. It's been a good net shot and retrieve. And as the amateurs wrap up their work at the cleaning table, the pros prepare to bring in the last marker buoy. It's not an easy job, and this sea state and wind level are well below what they were last night. Imagine handling this on a deck that's bucking like a bronco. Finally, with all the buoys stowed, the last deck job now is to transfer the catch from the small holding tank to a much larger one below deck. The snapper is separated from the sharks at this stage. Skipper Jai takes on the task of handling his sharks with the care due to a product that's destined for the fish and chip shops, restaurants and home kitchens in the discerning flake market of Victoria. Chef Scott and Tom have new understanding of the work that goes into the product, and they're about to start their own work on it on this beautiful beachfront.
Well, what a great location, hey? Absolutely amazing. I'm here with two terrific chefs and we're staying at Boat Harbour, just west of Wynyard, up at the top of Tassie. To go with a great location, we've got great seafood. What are you guys going to prepare for us today? Because I tell you what, it's all looking magnificent in front of me.
We're going to do a gummy tortilla and just onto the grill. We'll do a little crisp salad to go with it, and then we've got a little salsa. So what we do with the ash salsa, we make that just by putting whole chilies over the barbecue.
I'll leave it to you.
So have a little bit of olive oil.
Yep.
A little bit of salt. And it's going to take about sort of 5 to 6 minutes on the grill. Yeah, pop a few tortillas, go 2 to start. And we'll just do the salad at the moment. Our fennel, so nice and straightforward. Tomatoes, in with the fennel, the red onion, got a little bit of fresh chilli, a little bit of dill, a bit of olive oil, and then we've got a little bit of red wine vinegar.
Yep.
You're trying to bring out the natural flavours through there.
Yep.
At that stage, you really want to make sure that you keep the herbs and all the leaves separate.
Yep.
Because they're all going to start breaking
Okay, so you
down
put
because of
that, you
that
put
salt
those on
process.
last, do you? Just so that, yeah, they don't break down. Well, I'll tell you what, the fish is looking good.
Yeah, beautiful. All right, it's cooked out really nicely. You don't lose any of those beautiful sweet juices coming out of it.
Wow, this looks great.
Make a nice little pile of salad. We get a little bit of acid and cream from the cultured cream. We're going to bring through a little bit of the charred ash salsa.
Okay. So has that got a smoky taste as well?
Yeah, it certainly does. So green tomato salsa, jalapeno in there, and that's just going to give you another little crunch.
Wow, that looks just sensational.
Done.
Hey, pretty good. Wow, fantastic. We better get the Smith family over.
The gummy experts.
Come over, guys, and have a bit of a sample of this. This is pretty special. There's your Gummy Shark in there, Pete. That's the way.
Yeah.
Awesome, hey?
Find the recipe at seafoodescape.com or at fishfiles.com.au, where you'll also find info on Gummy Shark sustainability. If you want to just relax and unwind at the beach, you can't do better than Pete Smith's own beach shack right on Tasmania's Boat Harbour beach. Just a small stroll from the surf club, its chef standard kitchen is the centre of accommodation for up to 6 very relaxed people. See justrelax.com.au. Just Landed is the brand of Wynyard professional fisher Pete Smith's own business that processes and packs the local gummy shark catch. Within hours of coming out of the water, the delicious boneless white flesh that's known to many customers as flake is filleted and skinned with amazing efficiency. The final product is then carefully packed for shipment to markets mainly in Victoria and also in places such as Hobart's waterfront, where another brand is making waves of its own. Frank on Franklin Wharf is where we've come to meet up again with Scott Heffernan, the owner and executive chef.
First of all, you have to love food, and you have to be interested in food, otherwise there's no point. And you definitely have to have a really good work ethic. If you don't want to be part of a strong team, it just doesn't work in the kitchen. I moved away from cooking through it until I was about 21, so I started my apprenticeship a little bit later. And then I decided to make the big move to Hobart and start, and then it's taken me from Hobart to Melbourne. I didn't work overseas, but I think I did it the best way. I travelled through a lot of countries, eating everything, and then ended up back in Melbourne, worked for a bit longer, and then gravitated back to Tassie for the lifestyle and also the opportunity with food and just where restaurants are moving to in Tassie. We're getting a really good opportunity, and we're definitely punching well above our weight. When you feel that you can cook and you have a lot of confidence inside, that actually helps to, you get a product, someone turns up at the back door, which happens a lot in Hobart with product, and you can look at it and make a really clear decision how you would approach it and how you can use it. Seafood is probably one that you have to respect the most because it is so volatile, and Anyone that knows good seafood knows when it's not good seafood, and they're unforgiving, and so they should be. We've got a gummy shark cut up into really nice little fingers. We're just going to grill those over the charcoal. Then we're going to do a little ceviche salad. We've got some slow cooked and smoked sweet potato that we've done over the grill. And we've got some golden beets that'll give us really nice earthiness.
Yep.
Some nice creamy avocado, red grapes, and a little bit of chilli. So first up, what we'll do is we'll just season up some of our fish, a little bit of oil. So we'll just place them on here over the charcoal.
And how hot's this? I can feel it coming up.
It sort of varies it'll be around sort of 350 Celsius up to about 400. We're pretty lucky. We can move the temp up and down.
Oh, wow, look at that. So how high does that come?
Oh, it comes up pretty high. So
that's
we can get it up
fantastic.
to right up to about here if we need to. And there you can see it start to colour through.
Yep.
Take that to about halfway, and then we'll turn it over and we'll give it another 1 or 2 minutes, and then we'll just let it rest.
Pretty quick.
Really quick.
Now, is Gummy Shark a regular for Frank?
Yes, definitely. Now we're trying to work out new dishes to use with it, and that's what we've been working on over the last month. So,
all right, where to from here?
We're just going to start arranging a couple of the sweet potato in the bowl. Just build our little base up nice and simply. We don't want to hide the fish too much, so just use 2 to start with. And there. A few of our nice little beetroot, radish. Coriander. So we're just doing a play on the style of the ceviche, which is actually really exciting. It's nice to do something completely different. It's
pretty cool.
We do a lot of raw fish, so
Yeah,
it's actually
right.
nice to try doing a little bit of shark that's actually been grilled. And then some nice creaminess coming through from the avocado. And we give it a little hit of lime juice, just to freshen it all up. A little bit of grape, which is actually the red grape. Has a really nice balance through it. Now we'll just finish with a bit of our tiger's milk.
Tiger's milk. Who named it Tiger's milk?
Someone who was very creative, I think.
Wow, that looks amazing. A masterpiece. Well done.
Thank you.
Sensational. Tom, mate, few forks. Look, he's ready to go. Good stuff. The Three Musketeers.
Thank you.
We're going to have a crack at this
You go
one.
first.
I'll get a little bit of that fish in there. I want to taste that gummy.
Very good.
Have a go at the recipe at seafoodescape.com or fishfiles.com.au.